The market opportunity is immense. Obviously, we're in the digital transformation space. IDC forecast that to be worth $82 billion in EMEA by 2021. Underneath that, though, is a structural change in the way that clients are buying IT services. So for the last 20 or 30 years, it's been categorized as big IT outsourcing deals where companies have said, well, it's not our knitting, it's not what we do for a living. Let's just give it to somebody else to run more efficiently than we probably can ourselves. And that's seen the rise of the very large technology services companies, the IBM Global Services, the Accentures, the Wipros, and all those kind of companies. However, things have shifted, and now technology is seen as core competency, is seen as the way that clients need to innovate and to differentiate themselves. And so that requires a different approach to the kind of classic outsourcing approach. What clients are looking for is somebody to work with rather than for. They're looking for somebody that can help them upskill their internal teams, somebody that can work at pace, somebody that truly is agile rather than just saying the word agile and pretending, and someone that's looking that can actually deliver the outcomes they're looking for at the speed that they want those outcomes delivered, and at the price that they want to pay. So the Panoply's come about because of this need for agility and speed, not encumbered with the bureaucracy of the past, very much a 21st century approach to a 21st century problem, rather than trying to take a 20th century company and use that company to solve a 21st century problem. So because we're cloud native from the outset, because we're agile from the outset, we can solve our clients' problems in the way that they want us to do so. As I say, at the speed that they want us to do so. We just don't have the kind of legacy problems that very large technology services companies have, the processes and the bureaucracy that we keep talking about. And so in terms of how we solving it, well, one of the ways is this heavily decentralized model. So we bring companies together. I'm sure we'll come and talk about it, but we're fitting together a group of companies that are complementary in different geographies. But we largely leave them alone to run their own businesses, to retain that entrepreneurialism, that creativity. But we also encourage them to work together. But what we're not doing is building a very heavy central function that then slows everything down and is expensive. So we want that agility and speed to carry on as we continue to grow. So we plan to grow the business in 3 different ways. One is to acquire complementary companies in different geographies. So we intend to have a UK cluster, a Nordic cluster, a German cluster, and a Benelux cluster. Each cluster comprises of 5 to 7 companies that solve a different part of the digital transformation value chain. So starting with digital strategy at the top, going through service design, UX and UI, going through cloud native software development, cybersecurity, managed services and DevOps, and kind of everything in between, including data analytics and machine learning. So that's how we one of the ways we do it is by acquiring companies to fill out that jigsaw puzzle. The second way is by doing bolt-on acquisitions. And so in bolt-on acquisitions, what we're looking to do is add scale to one of the existing companies. And then the third way that we intend to grow is by backing startups, if you like, or very early stage services companies within the group, particularly in an area where it's really expensive to acquire. So if you take cybersecurity as an example, it's very expensive to buy a company in the cybersecurity space. It probably makes more sense for us to gather together a group of individuals who we know to be talented, help them set up, back that, and help them to grow. And we've already done that in the case of Not Binary, in our case, where we backed a group of people that we knew could deliver on a great services company, and they've proven to have done so. So something else to mention, though, is our social purpose, and that sits at the very heart of what we do. So rather than being something out to one side as corporate social responsibility, it sits in the very heart of the business. So at the very top, in our PLC board, we have Isabel Kelly, who is a main board director and is our voice of consciousness. She previously ran Salesforce Foundation Worldwide. But what we intend to do is actually reach into disadvantaged communities to find bright people who've never been given a shot, and basically give them a leg up into our industry. It's an industry that we think is one of the most meritocratic out there. In our industry, if you can do the job, you've got the job. And so we want to find these people who've never been given a chance and give them a new start in their career, a new path to follow. And that's part of our staffing model moving forward as well. So although legally the group only came together at the point of the IPO, they've actually been operating as a group from a marketing perspective for the last 18 months or so. And we've shown already that that group dynamic is working. So the idea that the companies win bigger than they've ever won before, that's evidenced with our DVLA contract, which is a £9 million 2-year call-off agreement that we have with them, that Not Binary won and started work on back in January of this year. Another example would be Christian Aid, where we won a 3-year program where we are their program lead across a digital transformation program that they're undertaking. That's the first time any of our companies have won deals of that scale or of that duration. And we also have examples, Prostate Cancer UK is an example where 2 of the companies are already working together hand in hand to deliver on an engagement. The Christian Aid one, by the way, was only one because we were able to pitch 2 companies combined. We weren't able actually to bid for that unless we did come together because Manifesto, who took the lead on that, didn't have the full capability that was required to win the entire engagement. Sure, the reasons we did the IPO, so a number of things. One is the way our companies are growing, the opportunity that our companies have is enormous. Clients are looking for a different kind of provider. They find that what we tend to find is that when we put our companies in front of the C-suite of larger organizations, they find the approach incredibly refreshing. They like the work that we do. However, the challenge for us is to put our companies in front of those clients. One of the things the IPO does is give us higher profile and gives our group companies the opportunity to bid for bigger deals, leveraging the fact that they're already listed. So that's, I guess, one of the reasons. The other is to create effectively a currency for us to go and acquire additional companies to execute upon our strategy. I think those are the 2 big reasons for us to get out on the market. Okay. So another reason for the IPO was actually to finalise the acquisitions of the 4 companies that now form part of the group today. Those 4 companies are Benagare, which is a Norwegian-based strategy consultancy, very much involved in digital strategy, very much with that C-suite access that we are looking for. The next company was Questers, which is a nearshore Eastern European, Bulgarian based agile software development company that we see very much as the engine room for the group moving forward as we scale out. The next company was Not Binary, which is a largely, but not exclusively, public sector, agile, cloud-based, cloud-native software development company. And the 4th company was Manifesto, which is a top 100 UK-based service design and UX company. I guess the KPIs that we tend to look at will be organic revenue growth and EBITDA growth within the existing group, and we would expect to show that. In addition to that, acquisitions and acquired companies. The acquired companies that we're looking for are all going to be earnings enhancing for the group, as well as being accretive for all shareholders as well. Other things that I guess you would look at is retention of clients over a longer term. We tend to find that once we're in a client, we stick around for an awfully long time, although we work statement of work by statement of work, and we're not necessarily a recurring revenue, hard contracted revenue kind of company. We do tend to stick around in our clients for many years, so you would expect that to occur. In our admission document, I think we had 114 clients, up from 75 a couple of years earlier. And many of those we'd anticipate that will still be with us for many years to come. So in terms of other KPIs, I guess number 1 is cash generative. So we're profitable from day one. We're cash generative, and we anticipate paying a dividend from the March 2020 results onwards. We anticipate growing quite dramatically. And I think one of the things here is, we're involved in machine learning, we're involved in robotic process automation, we're involved in augmented reality projects. This is a kind of way to get exposure to some of that emerging technology, exciting emerging technology space, but with the fundamentals of being cash generative and profitable and dividend paying. It's a bit old-fashioned.